Hi, pipe smokers. This is Paul the Pipe Guy live from Rochester, New York, in the United States of America. And yeah, I do look quite disheveled. Oh my gosh, I got a big, huge rust mark on the side. I just got home about an hour ago, just answering comments from my YouTube videos and so forth. And I thank every one of you for every comment. And like I was saying before, I try to get back to everybody and at least like what you stated, or if you have a question to explain it and so forth. So I really enjoy doing that. So yeah, I worked a 10-hour day today, and then I had to go get my truck in New York State in the United States of America. Every year, once a year, you have to go get a safety inspection done where they check your brakes and all of that stuff to make sure your truck is all, your suspension, your steering system, blah, 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 all of that stuff. So I came home tonight, and as I was answering some of my subscribers' questions and comments, one subscriber, I don't know if they're a new subscriber or not, but commented on a video I made quite a while ago on the GLP's jackknife plug. Yeah. And I realized that I haven't smoked that blend in forever. So it's like, all right. So we have maybe a little short Wednesday night smoke together and talk about a couple things. For my subscribers that are watching, I do have a few questions that I'd like your input on videos that I'm thinking about doing, and I would love to hear your response. But first, let's clear the, say it, palate. Cheers. Paul the Pipe Guy's favorite adult beverage, Busch beer. Yeah. So it's been a long day. I can't remember which subscriber commented on the GLP's jackknife plug, but they said they loved it. And so what I did is, I haven't smoked this pipe in a long time. It's actually a Borkum Riff Natural bowl number 100. Yeah. And we're not doing a pipe review here or anything like that, but it's felt kind of like a Dr. Graybow, little 6 millimeter stem there. And let me light this up, and then I do have a couple of questions I'd like to see if you guys would appreciate if I did. I was talking on one of my videos, I think it was yesterday, and how I might have to age my squadron leader so it chills out a little bit, or maybe I just need to chill out and stop smoking it so hard. And this one subscriber, I won't mention his name, says, well, aging tobacco for me, he says, I'm 75 years old, so aging tobacco takes about 3 days. And thank you so much for that comment. I'm going to be 57, so I'm only 18 years younger than you. And it made me laugh. At this age of 75, it only takes 3 days for me to age tobacco. Or actually, I think he said, at this point in my life, I'm 75 years old, and I only let tobacco age 3 days, or something like that. But it made me laugh. You made my day. You really did. I love that comment. So we have some GLP's jackknife plug in our Borkum Riff bowl vintage bowl number 100 briar pipe. Oh. I did take a few puffs off of this and then went upstairs to do something. When I came back down in my living room, it was like the room note on this jackknife plug was just so good. It is a strong blend, and it's still strong, and I've aged it. I think I bought this like a year ago. Oh, yeah. Oof. So, I have had some comments, especially from new pipe smokers, about, what's an inexpensive pipe to start out with, or, you know, there, uh, there's a lot of new pipe smokers out there. It's starting to really catch on. Still isn't as big as cigar smoking, but so I was thinking about maybe doing a video on my top five vintage pipes that are great quality that you can buy for under $20, and maybe my top five new pipes that you can buy for under $40. And just doing a review and saying, like this Borkum Riff, I'd have to look back at eBay to see what I paid for this, but I bet I only paid about 10, $15 for it, This Willard pipe, I only paid like $10 for, $15, something like that. And they're great smoking pipes. And a lot of the eBay sellers will clean and sanitize the pipe. So basically, you're getting a vintage older pipe, but it's been totally cleaned out, reamed out, meaning they take all of the carbon out of the bowl, ream it down to bare wood. If it says it's been cleaned and sanitized, they've done all of that. Cleaned it all out with alcohol. So would any of my subscribers like to see a video like that? Or maybe the top 2, 3, 4, 5 vintage pipes, or the top, 5 pipes that I've purchased that would be great for beginners but inexpensive. You start out with one and maybe you don't smoke it every day. When I first started pipe smoking, I'd smoke mine once or twice a week. My first pipe I bought was a Dr. Graybow. And of course, as you know, I bought cherry aromatic tobacco to go with it. And I bought it at a pipe shop, and a smoke shop, and I paid $50 for it. And then I paid like $15 for, 1.5 ounces or whatever in a pouch of Captain Black cherry aromatic. And I'd smoke it a couple of times a week, and then I started enjoying it more and then more. Pretty soon, before I knew it, I was smoking that pipe almost every day. And then I knew that you have to rotate your pipes because they do get wet. So then I started buying more pipes. Vintage pipes I started buying first, not new ones. My first one was brand new. Got into a K Woody kick, a vintage K Woody streak where I was buying every vintage K-Woody I could find that I really liked off of eBay. Some of them are, most of them are very nice pipes. Then I got into a Canadian style pipe, which is basically has an oval shank, which is much longer, and then a short stem. And that's a Canadian style pipe. And bought several of those. You go through phases, and then all of a sudden you look at your collection, and it's like, I, I have to say that between pipes and tobacco and pipe racks, in the past 2.5 years, I've invested about, I would say, $10,000. Look, it's cheaper than you know, going out to the bar or whatever all the time, and I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, 10 grand's a lot of money, but that's what I have. I did a calculation a couple of months ago, so that number might have inflated a little bit by now, but it's something I enjoy. I don't do drugs. I go to work. I work hard. Don't do drugs. I go out to a bar maybe once, twice, 3 times a year, and I never drive. I have all the guitars that I want. I have all the amplifiers I want. I have all the microphones I want. I have all the guns that I want. I have all the ammunition for the guns that I want. I won't even tell you what I have, but my estranged wife used to say, there's going to be a helicopter flying around the house pretty soon. You have so many guns and so much ammo. Uh, but so I have all what I need in those areas. Pipe smoking is something that I love and enjoy, and it's relaxing. Doesn't hurt anybody. I'm sitting here in my living room I mean, look at me. I'm having the time of my life, and I'm sitting here thinking about different videos to make while I'm making a video, smoking a pipe, and having a beer. I'm not out doing shots, snorting coke, out at some bar trying to pick up a bunch of women, driving totally stone drunk all over, going to the next bar, seeing if there's different girls there. I did all that back in the 1980s. This is what I enjoy now. I'm home. It's just me and my cat. And I'm happy and content. So if I spent $10,000 or so in the past 2.75 years, 2.5 years on pipes and tobacco and stuff, that I enjoy it. It's relaxing. It's good for my blood pressure. I love to come home and think about different blends that I can make. I've come up with 10 different blends. 11, 12, no, more than 10 blends that I've made myself, yeah. I don't know. I just enjoy that. Right now, listen to this. Peace, quiet, tranquility. I've raised 6 sons and 4 daughters. So I've been raising children. The youngest one will be 18 in February. It's 3 months from now. It's December 1st, 2021. I've waited for this. Listen again. Total peace and quiet for been raising kids for 36 years. This is my reward time. Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed very much raising small children from infants to all the way up through their teenage years, although sometimes teenagers can be a bit of a challenge. Every one of them was different. Some of them didn't give me a lick of trouble at all. Some of them tortured me. You know. But when you have a child, excuse me, you're in it for the long-term run, through the good, through the bad. And somehow the bad, even if you have a teenager that's torturing you, all of those teenagers eventually, when they started getting their own kids, and I was a very good father, they came back and apologized for torturing me. They're like, I'm getting tortured now. Ma used to say you treated us all differently. I says, yeah, I did treat you all differently, but I treated you all fairly, but you were all different human beings. And my one son says, I get that now. He says, I'm raising 2 stepsons. The one stepson does anything that he's told to do. If he does something wrong, he gets reprimanded for it, and he's very respectful. The other son, he says he's hard-headed, this, that, and tries him on for size. I was like, welcome to fatherhood. When you marry the mother, it doesn't matter if they're your blood or not. They're your children. And he says, now I understand why you treated us all different, because we all acted different. So I had to respond differently to each one of those little buggers. And it's so good to see them all buying houses now and getting married and having kids. I think I'll be 57 in 6 days. I think this is the best part of my life. Although when my wife and I were having kids, I thought that was the best part of my life. But at this age, I would not want to regress back to, and maybe I shouldn't use that word, I would not want to do that again. At the time, I loved it. I did. Even through the good times and the rough times, I loved it. Now I'm a grandpa. Yeah, that kid craps its pants, diaper, whatever, I just hand it back to mommy. I'm loving life. I've enjoyed so many different stages of my life. Through childhood, I loved my childhood. My parents were very good parents. They did go through a divorce, and then I was lucky to receive an awesome stepfather that adopted all of his kids. We had a great childhood. We played sports. We were in Boy Scouts. We did family trips, and then getting married and then having children. And my life hasn't been a box of roses. I went through a divorce from my first wife and separation from my second wife now for about 8 years, but we still all get along. and even the two wives get along. And and then you go through those childbearing years and all of that stuff, and I enjoyed that. Yeah, I'm enjoying this now. I like this. I like the sound of this. Do you hear that? The only thing I can hear is the boiler for my heater for my house kicking on. And I love it. I like this sound too. Different stages of life, and those of you who are my age, 50, I might as well call myself 57, and even my one subscriber who's 75 would probably agree, all with those different stages that you go through in lifetime. And now it's time for me to enjoy grandbabies. It's time I'm not financially I'm financially independent. I'm not rich, but I'm not poor. I would say I'm middle class. Uh, Used to be upper middle class, but I don't care about that anymore. There's more than money. Some of you folks that have those big houses with big mortgages, that have to have those high stress jobs, white collar jobs, whatever. You understand. I used to be there. Now I have a house that's built in 1967 that I rent. I don't even own it, but it's only $700 a month. And if something breaks, I don't have to worry about it. But I'm not living in an apartment complex. I'm on 3 acres in the country. Yeah, life. Life's pretty darn good. Thank the Lord. Oh yeah, this jackknife plug is awesome. I don't. I don't think they tell what's in it. I can't remember what's in it. Jackknife plug, dark fired Kentucky. Um, Red Virginias. And that's about it, I think. Yeah. That's about it. It's good. It's real good. Almost tastes like a Latakia blend, but it doesn't say Latakia on there. And I didn't look it up before because this is not a pipe review or a tobacco review. It's just I feel like having a smoke with my friends. Yeah. Mm. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think I'm going to do a video on affordable pipes. Because, I don't know, some of you might be into corn cobs. I never have been. And somehow I ended up with 2 Busch beers that are open. This is what you call being double fisted. I don't know how that happened. Must have been so relaxed I just opened the other one. I'll be back in a second. Okay, so we're back. So one of my sons, Robbie, and I hate to use this term, stepson, but he is my middle stepson from my second marriage. Actually, the politically correct way now to say this, and Robbie actually was the one that gave me the hardest time growing up. Just so hard-headed, but now he's like a redneck. He goes hunting, loves the outdoors. He's a chef at one of a fine dining restaurants that we have. It's a German restaurant. Also helps out in their brewery making beer for Rohrbach's. If anybody's ever heard of Rohrbach's beer, he brews it. Plus, half the week he runs the kitchen for them too, and is a chef. So he's a chef and a beer brewer. And I love him. And he's one of the ones that really apologized. He's the one that actually talked about having two stepsons that were so different that he had to treat them differently. And I was like, now you know. But anyways, the correct term is he harvested a beautiful buck deer. Sent me a picture last night and said, look what I got. Now, I had given him a surprise. He came out of the fog that he was finally in, finally came out of that. And after a few years of that, he started getting into hunting and stuff, and I thought that was cool. I really wanted to help him out. He wanted a real nice scope for this rifle, so I bought him a really expensive scope for this rifle, and he is dead on with it. So they used to say, yeah, I killed a deer. Well, now you're supposed to say, I harvested a deer. And so what we're going to do is I told him, I says, hey, man, you want me to make some beef jerky out of some of that deer? He's like, you make the best beef jerky. Well, it's going to be venison jerky. And I do have a recipe that I call Paul's Outlaw Beef Jerky Blend. I love the ring of that. Outlaw Beef Jerky Blend. And my kids, everyone that's had it is like, this is the best beef jerky that I've ever had. Well, yeah, because you have to start out with good quality meat. I invested a few $100 in this. Got a nice beef jerky slicer that slices up into 1/8-inch slices, almost like bacon, real thick cut bacon. I spent some money on a nice dehydrator. I says, yeah. I says, I'll tell you what, you bring over 6-8 pounds of that, and I'll give you back 2-3 pounds of nice, dry, awesome venison jerky like you've never had. So he's all excited about that. By the way, it was a 7-pointer. So it looked like it was about a 4.5-year-old buck. So not real old, but it was good size, had a pretty decent thick neck, and which shows maturity in the deer species as far as a buck, a buck is a male deer. And since he's in the restaurant business, he's like, I got a meat slicer, all of this stuff. How thick do you want the steaks? I says, 1 inch thick. Make them 1 inch thick. I'll process the rest of it into jerky. I can't wait. I says, do I get to keep some for myself? He's like, yeah, keep whatever you think is fair. I says, all right. I says, I already have all the stuff in stock to make it. The recipe, which is a secret recipe. The outlaw recipe. Yeah. I was going to start a company called Outlaw Beef Jerky, but then I started looking at all of the county health codes and all of this stuff, and I'm extremely clean when I cook. I'll take a pan out that I used a week ago, and before I cook with it again, I'll wash it again. Wash my hands countless times while cooking. I'm a very good cook. But, they make you jump through hoops to, well, it's for a good reason. They don't, the health department doesn't want people getting sick off of bad food. So I can understand that, but too much money in startup fees. This age, I'm not looking to start another business. Maybe I should call it Grandpa Paul's Outlaw Beef Jerky. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Ooh. Something just cleared out of that pipe. Anyways, we've rolled on for over 31 minutes here, just rambling on. I'm going to upload this video. I'm Paul the Pipe Guy. Happy pipe smoking and enjoy each stage of your life. Over and out.